Salve Maria. As a homage to Signora Donna Lucilia and in loving memory of her, I thought that it would be fitting to reflect with you on the maternal goodness of Signora Donna Lucilia by sharing with you certain facts of the life of Signora Donna Lucilia and also which related to the childhood of Signora Dr. Plinio. So, let us have a closer view on this soul that was truly marvelous and truly Catholic. As we know, there is nothing more important for a person than the salvation of his own soul. So, a truly Catholic mother should always desire for the spiritual good of her children above anything else. Donna Lucilia was a truly Catholic mother. She sought for the spiritual benefit of her children above anything else. So much so that because of her efforts, from their early childhood, little Plinio and Rosé both were able to distinguish between the statue of Sacred Heart of Jesus and the statue of Our Lady of Graces that was within their house. And when they were asked a simple question such as, "Where is Jesus?" or "Where is Mary?" the youngsters would directly point out to the corresponding statues. And later on, precisely the name of Jesus and the name of Mary were the first words that were pronounced by their own lips. So, if truly all Catholic mothers would follow the example of Signora Donna Lucilia, how many saintly sons and daughters would the Catholic Church have during these present times? So, Donna Lucilia, because of her patience, of her loving kindness, Dr. Plinio was already able from his childhood to understand, to grasp how much merciful and loving and patient God was. So, Donna Lucilia on her part was always ready to bear whatever the uneasiness that her little children would cause by their little childhood affections that they showed towards her. So it happened that once on September 12th, 1911, the Municipal Theatre of Sao Paulo was to be inaugurated. So on this occasion, a great opera was going to be taking place, and all the high-class families of Sao Paulo were to be present. So Donna Lucilia, as being of a high class of Sao Paulo, prepared also herself to be present at this event. So after she prepared herself very splendidly with beautiful clothing, she went to her children to bid farewell towards them. So her daughter, Donna Rosé, was already elder than Dr. Plinio, already perceived that she was more intelligent and more mature than Plinio. So she already perceived that she has to be more careful while embracing her mother, has to be more careful while greeting her. So when her mother came to greet towards her, she with lot of care greeted her mother. But when the chance came to little Plinio, it was totally different, something totally different, because Plinio was already a very small child. So he did not understand all these things. When he saw his mother very beautifully dressed and with a lot of magnificence, dressed in a very splendid cloth, he was taken with so much of enthusiasm that he hugged his mother with all his might and started kissing her and placing his hands over her hair, so much so that her hair was disarranged a little bit. So an onlooker who was close by quickly asked Donna Lucilia, "Lucilia, don't allow little Plinio to dishevel your hair." So Donna Lucilia, with lot of calmness, replied to this person saying, "Don't worry, I will fix it, but I will never restrict my son's affection." So, what a maternal soul, what a soul filled with wisdom, a soul that saw the necessity of not restricting her son's affection. So, Donna Lucilia's heart was always overflowing with affection. She never restricted her affection. Her children in showing their affection towards her. So, Donna Lucilia, being a mother, was always patient. We know that St. Paul says in his epistle to the Corinthians that love is patient. So a true love should be able to endure whatever the difficulties that would come in convivium with the others, in convivium with the neighbors. Donna Lucilia's patience was not only limited towards her own children, but she was able to be patient with other children of other families even, especially those who are of the same age of her children. So it happened that there was one boy who was a relative of Donna Lucilia who was named as Agostinho. So this Agostinho, he was known as Tito in his family. So little Tito was a deaf-mute child. So this boy Tito, he learned to speak in the city of Vienna. So even though he learned to speak, he was not able to recover his hearing. So Tito, even though he was able to speak, since he had never heard human voice, he would speak in such a harsh way that no one was able to bear his presence. So wherever he went, people always tried to take distance from him. So little Tito found this very, very unpleasing. So Tito especially used to frequent the house of Dona Lucilia because Dona Gabriela was at this place. Dona Gabriela was the mother of Dona Lucilia and also the grandmother of this child. So Tito would have conversations with Dona Gabriela, and Dona Gabriela on her part, being the grandmother of this child, was trying to be patient with him. So Dona Gabriela still had her limitations even. So Dona Gabriela, even though she was the grandmother, she had occasional fallings with little Tito. Dona Lucilia, since she knew about this, she was observing the situation, what was going on in the place, and when she saw that there would be a small problem that took place between the both, what she would do? She would quickly intervene to the situation. She would come towards Tito and say, "Tito, come, let's talk a little bit." So Tito actually was waiting for this. He wanted to speak with Aunt Lucilia. So Tito would go to a nearby room and converse with her, remain conversing with her for a long time. So in these moments, Tito would voice out his complaints, his misunderstandings that he had with others, the problems he faced with others. So in these moments, he would sometimes shout because he did not know how to speak. So Dona Lucia bore all these things, resolved all his problems, and finally when the boy felt happy, he bid farewell to Dona Lucilia and went to his house. So Dona Lucilia, after this conversation, it was something very important. She never drew attention towards the patients she practiced. She was always disputatious. After this occasion, she would again continue with her day-to-day work as if nothing had happened. So Dona Lucilia's soul was a soul truly filled with disputantiousness, with lot of patience. So this is the spirit that should exist within our souls. So let us ask Mary Most Holy to obtain for us souls that are truly Lucilian, because of the influence of his mother, little Plinio was able to understand the mercy of God, the mercy of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the mercy of Our Lady. So let us ask Our Lady especially during these times to make us truly souls filled with goodness, make our souls filled with truly concern towards the other, because we are living in a society which is filled with self-love, with self-ambition. So let us ask this grace to be more kind, more hearts filled with gentleness, so that our souls may truly be reflections of that heart of which Dona Lucilia's soul was a mere reflection, the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which was meek and humble. So let us ask this grace with lot of fervor and with lot of faith, and surely we will obtain this grace through the hands of Mary Most Holy, through her intercession. Salve Maria.